What started as a friendly bet between colleagues set former office worker Deston Sparks on a new and rather lucrative career path. It's been very rewarding indeed, and he joins us now to tell us all about it and explain these beautiful images of his. Deston, how did this all start with a bet?
Well, it's pretty interesting. I actually started in a graphic design position, and it was in a camera store, funnily enough. But all my friends and colleagues are all camera buffs. They're all photography enthusiasts. You know, they'd go out and they'd take photos in the morning before work and things like that. And they'd come back, and one morning I was, I guess, a little bit envious and sort of made a bit of a wise crack. They had a popular photo that was quite popular on Facebook, and I made a crack, and he sort of retaliated and said, "All right, well, go on, you do better." So I went out and got a camera. It took me a little while to get the hang of it, but I sort of came back and I proved him wrong.
Yeah, you certainly did. You're having the last laugh and living quite a nice lifestyle, doing what you enjoy to do and being paid for it. What were those first images like, and how did you develop a style as a photographer?
Well, the first images, I think everyone improves all the time. I'm continually learning new things. In terms of the style, I actually use an old panoramic film camera. So I've gone back to film. It's about 20 years old now. I think that's probably a pretty unique sort of style that I've sort of set myself, and that's what I like.
And I noticed that there's not many people in your images. Is that by design? Do they ruin the shot for you?
Look, sometimes I have them in there. Sometimes they can add scale to an image, but generally speaking, I try and stick to just the landscapes.
Look, a lot of us have had that feeling, I think, that we're presented with a beautiful landscape in front of us, but, you know, we take the shot, we go home, and it doesn't revive those same feelings of being there, whereas your images do. How do you achieve that?
A lot of it comes down to right place, right time. Sometimes the lighting looks good in person, but it doesn't look as good on the camera. You've got to work with the camera a bit as well, I think. But also adding depth to the image. So generally those composition guidelines like rule of thirds and foreground interest and things like that will definitely add an impact. And
going back to using film, that must present its own challenges, because it's hard enough to get film processed these days. What do you have to do?
Yeah, absolutely. My film comes from the States, and then I go out, I take shots, and it's then sent from Brisbane to Sydney to get developed. And I've worked it out. It costs about $4 a click, so it's not a cheap process. But probably the biggest challenge, I would say, would be